is our level 1 beginner, week 3, forward roll review. So, what we're going to start off with, first 3 stations I would have them do can all be done on the floor with no mats. So first thing is our candlestick hollow body, or not candlestick, sorry, a hollow body tuck hold, where the athlete is going to sit on the ground. They're going to lay down on their back, pull their knees to their chest, pull their shoulders and their head off the ground, looking at the belly button. And they're just going to hold this position right here. And come right back down. We're really looking for those shoulders to be up off the ground, not just tucking in and the head back. The chin is down, it'll help us pull those shoulders off the floor, and that'll keep us where we want to go. The next station that you can have them do is our candlestick to a straddle stand-up. So what that means is that the athlete's going to do the candlestick. They're going to come down out of the candlestick like we practiced in the previous weeks, but they're going to separate their legs, put their hands down in between their legs, and try to push themselves to a stand in one motion. So I'll do one to the front. The athlete sits, goes to the candlestick, legs apart, and stand up out of the straddle to the side. Candlestick, feet come apart. Stand up over those feet. The goal is to try to have straight legs as they're standing up. The wider they can separate those legs, the easier that's going to make to have happen. The last station that we're going to have them do is their forward rolls on the ground, just from stand, down, forward roll, to stand up on the other side. Just really putting together those forward roll stations and drills that we've been practicing these past few weeks. The next 2 forward roll stations are going to be a straddle forward roll down a cheese wedge and a straddle forward roll across the panel mat. They can do that candlestick standing up in the straddle that we just did. You can have that station going along with these as well. So athletes can stand up, hands go down in the middle of the legs and the straddle. They're going to roll just like they do in that regular forward roll, but they're going to sit in that straddle and push their hands off the floor to stand up. The hands do go down to push the body off that ground. They go down between the legs in the beginning. The athlete comes around, pulls those shoulders up off the floor quickly, and pushes down with those hands into the ground between the legs to help push them into a standing position from the straddle. Same thing right here. This time, they're going to try to separate their legs and have their legs wider than the panel mat. Hands still go down. We do the roll. And we're going to stand up off of that panel mat in the straddle position. Just really working on getting that push off the floor between the legs to help us stand in a straddle. Week 3, level 1 beginner, backward roll stations. First thing we're going to have them do, just conditioning, have the whole entire class do this together, down on their knees, walk the hands forward. So we are in a push-up position, and we're going to have the athletes keep that tummy tight, go down and back up. You're going to do that through 5 sets of 3 for week 3. So one more time, keeping that tummy tight, keeping your chin tight. We want to make sure the athletes walk their hands up, getting these hips pretty straight, down and up. Watch for them sticking their bottom out and just moving their shoulders. We want the whole knees, hips, and shoulders going down and back up to the top again. Next couple stations that we have is really preparing for those straddle backward rolls. Just like how we have the athletes measure themselves in a regular backward roll, they're going to do the same exact thing from a straddle for the straddle backward roll. Have the athlete on a panel mat, have them lay down and scoot back till their head is just over the top. Remember, this allows the athlete to get their hands to the floor, which helps them push off the hands a little bit easier and keep the head off the ground. This time, instead of starting with the legs together, we sit in a straddle, and we do the same roll with the straddle the whole way through. Hands are up in pizza hands, roll backwards using the toes, hit the straddle, hands on the floor to push ourselves to the top. Very important that the athlete does not move their bottom after they find that measuring spot where their head is just off the edge. If the athlete sits up and moves their bottom after that, they just messed up their whole roll and they're not going to get their hands where they need to go. Make sure it's very clear. Lay down, get your head over the edge, and sit up to your bottom without moving your bottom forward or backwards. Right over here now, you're getting the athlete used to sitting or doing these backward straddle rolls from a standing position. So, have the athlete stand. The athlete comes down and put their hands down between their legs, just like we practiced last week when we sat and then stopped on our backs. But this time we're going to continue all the way through that straddle backward roll. So now the athlete has to put their hands down in the middle, sit their bottom down, and then get those hands back up to their ears to push off the floor like a regular backward roll. The last station you can have them do is going to be a place where you're spotting either their regular backward rolls if they can't do those on the floor yet, or their straddle backward rolls if they can do that regular backward roll on the ground by themselves. So, having the athlete stand up in that straddle position, hands reach down between the legs as the athlete sits, and then the hands go up to the ears as we roll through those toes, standing up, arms by our ears at the end. Try to keep that straddle the whole entire roll. The last station for our week 3 backward rolls is going to be stand to stand backward rolls. The athlete starts in their backward roll position with their hands ready to go, sitting to the ground, hands go on the floor, toes over the head, standing up, looking at those toes, arms by the ears. This is maybe where you need to spot the athletes, so make sure you're positioning yourself accordingly so you can keep your eyes on the other stations while you spot an athlete in their backward roll.